fantasy football. I actually am going to kind of combine last week's and this week's kind of chat, I guess. So game week 35, I had a terrible week. I made a load of changes. You see, 12 points I lost, and it worked out so badly. I had like Sane, who didn't play, and nor did Walker or Otamendi, even though Man City played, De Gea didn't play. And Crystal Palace had a terrible result against Watford. Not really terrible, but I thought they would comfortably beat Watford, and they didn't. So I had an awful week. This week, done a lot better. Not amazingly, but a lot better. Sane actually did something this week, and Crystal Palace had a really good week, as we'll chat about, I guess. And this is considering I accidentally forgot to change my squad. So after this week, I think I made a change of. What did I make a change of? I didn't make a change, so I had the same team. I completely forgot to make a change, and they've just subbed in Aki because Mane didn't play. So yeah, I kind of did it right considering I forgot to change the team. Mostly down to Crystal Palace though, as we'll chat about. So I feel like the Premier League is kind of like coming along to a not really that exciting climax, if we're completely honest. Man City have run away with the league. They've obviously won it now. Big congratulations to them for doing that. Be interesting to see if they can hit that 100-point barrier, which I don't think has been hit before in the Premier League. They've hit 100 goals, fastest team to hit 100 goals. A plus 76 goal difference is phenomenal. They also have, by the way, the best defence in the league accordingly. So when people say about Man City having a bad defence or the capability to leak goals, bear in mind they've leaked less goals than any other side. Because the Guardiola way is, if you have possession of the ball, the other team can't score. And by the way, that works. You have to have a very good technical squad to do it, but it does work. We are seeing that. So for all those people who call Guardiola a fraud, well, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, as I said, I feel like we've had some results in the but they've not really set the world on fire, to be honest. The most interesting thing that's going on is down here near the bottom. Who's going to go down? For me, 15th downwards, still at risk. I think Brighton have done enough to get out of it. Pretty confident Palace have got out of it as well. You don't know for certain yet. There's still a mathematical possibility, but we've got a better goal difference than most of the other teams down there, so I think we're going to be okay. Amazingly, I'd like to kind of point out that Crystal Palace in their first 7 or 8 games didn't even score a goal. They had 0 points and no goals scored. So the fact that they're safe and in 11th is not a bad turnaround from from the beginning of the season. Roy Hodgson, I'll take him out off and say I'm a big enough person to say I was not the greatest fan of his appointment. He has obviously done a magnificent job. For me, probably him, Sean Dyche and Rafa Benitez, 3 of the managers of the season without a doubt. Guardiola will probably win it because he's won the league and done it in style, and I think he deserves that. But I don't think it can be underestimated the jobs that those other 3 managers have done with their teams this season. Absolutely fantastic. But going back to that first game week 35, Liverpool drew with West Brom. I don't know if you can really take much consideration of Liverpool's league form currently. I think they should comfortably have a Champions League position, but they're clearly going for the Champions League. They've actually, I'm just recording this just after their game against Roma in the second leg, and they lost 4-2 but went through on 7-6 on aggregate, so I guess a nervy little last a few minutes or minute against Roma, but they're through against Real Madrid, so that will be very interesting. I hope Liverpool can win it. I'd love to see them do it. You've got to love Jurgen Klopp. You've got to admire the way they play this season. They've beaten Man City on 3 occasions. No other team's done that. Only one other team have beaten them, and that was Man United. So, they are clearly probably, in 2018, as in the calendar year, probably the best team in Europe they've looked, I think. But they've had a little bit of a wobble recently. I think their league results, as I said, you can't take too much into that because they have rested a lot of players. But there's still always that question mark about their defence. So, yeah, I wouldn't question too much about that. It does mean, however, that with this week's result as well, West Brom are still technically not relegated, which is incredible. Clearly, Alan Pardew was not the right man for the job there. I like Alan Pardew. I don't think he's a bad football manager. I just think he hasn't had the right job for him. I think Crystal Palace was a good job for him, but it kind of faded away a little bit, and I think he will be I think he would be very lucky to get another Premier League job right now. And I think that's for the best. I think he needs to kind of perhaps rebuild somewhere and maybe have his ego taken down a notch or two, because I feel like that is his downfall a little bit with that. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I don't think he's a bad football manager. I just think that West Brom was not the right fit for him in any way, shape or form. And Darren Moore's done a great job. I still think they'll get relegated to West Brom. Like, it just requires everybody else to lose and them to win, and that just seems too much. But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, they drew with Liverpool. Watford were all over Crystal Palace. Bent up drawing. West Ham are awful at the minute. Like, really bad. Arsenal beat them 4-1. I think there were some late goals in that one, but that's a donkey. Stoke drew with Burnley, which, I mean, they needed a win badly. Man City smashed Swansea, as everybody predicted, and Everton beat Newcastle. I'm sure Newcastle will probably be a bit disappointed with that. They probably could have chased down Everton. I think Everton are not in very good form this end of the season with the big unrest surrounding Sam Allardyce, in so much as it very much seems like Everton fans are not keen on having him next season, despite the fact that if you realistically think about this, 8th is not a bad position for Everton. I'd probably argue and say they should be above Burnley, certainly in money spent and the size of the club, etc. But should they be above anyone else in the top 6? Probably not. I think probably the problem with Sam Allardyce is the stigma that comes with him. Definitely. Because he will get you results. And I think the other thing is that Everton had they spent a lot of money, more than they've ever spent, and they had such high hopes for this season that I feel like it's just felt like a massive disappointment, despite the fact that at 8th, they're perfectly safe, have been for a while. Yeah, it's just, I guess, just a massive disappointment of a season. But, they can obviously build on that for next season. I think they had, many problems. I don't think getting Wayne Rooney back was a very good choice. I don't think that, the lack of a striker after losing Lukaku has clearly hurt them. Now they've got Senga Tosun, who looks like he's pretty good, so maybe next season we'll see an improvement there. But it would be interesting to see who's manager the next season, because I think Sam Allardyce does have a contract, but I don't think the board or the fans are too keen on him. But you've got to be careful what you wish for, and remember, Everton were right down in that relegation battle before he took over, and now they're very comfortable, so we'll see, I guess, where that goes. So on to the weekend just gone, fixtures. Liverpool drawing with Stoke 0-0. Again, resting a lot of players for this Roma match. Burnley drawing with Brighton. From point of view of Brighton, that's a pretty good result. I think Burnley were hoping to chase down Arsenal, but they've struggled a little bit. Admittedly, they play Arsenal next, so that's a pretty big match because they obviously can go on 57. They don't have the goal difference, but and Arsenal have a game in hand, but it's Arsenal, so you know. Crystal Palace 5, Leicester 0. I'm a Crystal Palace fan. This pleased me a lot. Certainly our best performance all season. We've never won 5-0 in the Premier League. It's our biggest win. All the team playing brilliantly. Loftus-Cheek playing brilliantly. Zaha obviously magnificent. Benteke right at the end. We got a penalty and Benteke kind of like gave the ball to Milicevic, who's our regular penalty taker. People might remember that penalty miss Benteke had. But then, like, they basically gave it back to him and told him to take it, and all the crowd were cheering him on, and he scored it. And I thought it was like actually quite a touching moment, you know, like a little bit of redemption. Obviously, it didn't mean as much with 4-0 up, but you know, it's there. But yeah, and like Sacco and Tompkins in central defence doing well, like looking like a real partnership. And yeah, I feel like if the season started in 2018, Crystal Palace would have an outside shot at maybe a European place, like in 7th or something, because we've been on some good form, and we've been unlucky in a lot of big games. I don't know what the situation regarding Roy Hodgson's going to be, whether or not he's going to be there next season. I hope he is. I hope he gets another season because I think he's a really good manager. I've always thought he was a good manager. He just always seemed a little bit boring for me. I think that's the case. But I've actually liked him as quite a stable kind of guy. And the team's not playing in a boring way. So you can't argue with that. You've got to be careful what you wish for, obviously. So I hope he stays on for another season. I don't think it's a long-term appointment. I said this at the time because he's pushing 70, if not over 70 now. So, you know, he's not the kind of like the sexier option that maybe like Ronald de Boer was, or Frank de Boer, sorry, not Ronald, that's his brother. But clearly he knows the Premier League well. He knows how to play, and you know, he's a local lad, so that's pretty cool. So I'd like to see him stay. Definitely. As for other players there, I hope we can buy Loftus-Cheek off Chelsea. I don't think they're going to want him back, to be fair. He's played brilliantly, but I just feel like Chelsea, like he's not a big enough name for Chelsea, if that makes sense. But we'll see. Depends, I guess, who their manager is next season, doesn't it? Because it probably won't be Conte. But yeah, if we could get Cheek, I'd be happy. If we can keep hold of Zaha, brilliant. I don't expect us to, though, to be fair. I think he's just too good. I think the top 6 there are going to be looking at him as a player who could, you know, really do stuff for them, and rightly so. We'll see where that goes and how much we get. If at the end of the day we sell Zaha for like 50 million, we buy Loftus-Cheek, we buy maybe someone like Shaqiri from Stoke if they get relegated, and maybe like a goalkeeper, we've done well. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. At the end of the day, he's on a long contract, we're going to get a lot of money for him, so you know, we'll see. Leicester, people have been very hard on Claude Puel. Again, it's a be careful what you wish for situation. If you remember, before he came in, they were in danger of getting relegated. They're safe. Yes, they've played badly in the last few games. Certainly they were atrocious against Palace, but I think they've just switched off for the summer. A few of their players going to the World Cup, probably trying not to get injured in the last few games. And yeah, I think they've just switched off really. They can't get like a European place. They probably could have before all this, but they can't really, and I think they've switched off a little bit. I think Puel should definitely get like another season. You know, he should be manager next season. You know, he did a good job with them, and they were playing good football. So I just feel like they're on the beach basically, as they say. Everton beat Huddersfield 2-0. Said about Tosun, he's he's a good player. How many goals he scored now? 5. He didn't score in like his first 6 games. He had a little bit of a drought there. I don't think he's gonna. I think he'll be a 20 goal a season guy, but I don't think he'll be any more than that. But to be fair to Everton, that's probably what they want. So yeah, and Walcott I think is playing pretty well. Huddersfield are in serious danger. They have a very tough run in. I feel like Southampton and Stoke, like the ball's in their court, they've got winnable games. Swansea against Bournemouth, that's a game that Swansea need to win. And I feel like Huddersfield are there for the taking a little bit right now. So I worry for Huddersfield. I would like to see them stay up. But I think their run-in's just too difficult. And if they do stay up, I think it will be because these sides are just, like Southampton and Stoke are probably just atrocious, because Southampton only have to get 1 win and they're above Huddersfield. They won their last game. Stoke, they need a couple of wins, to be fair. I think Stoke might be gone, but we'll see how they do against Palace. I think Palace will be up for that, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's going to be tough. I think Swansea losing 1-0 to Chelsea, harsh, but that's life. West Ham losing 4-1 again, just awful again, really. Sterling with 3 assists, well played. Man City just marching on, really, isn't it? Just doing their thing. Haven't really got anything else to play for this season, so yeah, just keep doing their thing. They've already won the league by mid-mile. I guess maybe they want that 100 points, don't they? Probably their aim now. Man United beat Arsenal. It's a weird game, this. So Arsene Wenger's going to be leaving at the end of the season. He said this. I think I might actually do a completely separate video just talking about Arsene Wenger, because there's so much to talk about there. I could be here for days and days and days. You know, 22 years as Arsenal manager is a phenomenal achievement, and whatever you think of his last few seasons, and I'm totally one of those people who was like, he should have walked away when they last won the FA Cup. You know, he's not done himself any favours. But you have to say, in such a cutthroat league like the Premier League, you know, in a cutthroat kind of country like, you know, England is, where the press will absolutely destroy you. You know, he has had that mental conviction to keep going for 22 years, when you will see other managers just burn out in that time. And you know, for me, he's up there. He's probably the 2nd greatest manager the Premier League's ever seen, after Ferguson, I think. You know, whatever people think of him, like, this guy brought through some of the best talent the world has seen. You know, the Vieiras, the Henrys, and Elko in its time was magnificent. You know, just brought through like a lot of fantastic players and got a team playing really well. Like, before Arsene Wenger, Arsenal were not known for their attractive football, but now they're kind of known as this passing side, attractive side, and you know, things haven't gone so well for him in the last sort of 10 years, I guess. But he's been consistent enough to keep that team around the top 5 or top 4, certainly for a lot of seasons, maybe like 18 of those seasons or something, when a lot of other teams haven't done that. You know, a lot of other managers haven't done that. You know, Man United have finished outside in that time. Chelsea have, Liverpool certainly have, City have, Spurs have. You know, you can't underestimate that level of consistency in such a ruthless league. And you know, Arsenal are known as a side which is financially very stable. You know, they have this stadium that a lot of people talk about as being, you know, one of the issues where they had to, I guess, rebuild, and kind of like they lost a lot of assets and they weren't as competitive for a while. You know, losing like Van Persie to Man United, you could tell that was harsh. You know, and other things as well. But Arsene Wenger's been there the whole time, you know, and it's a phenomenal achievement. Whatever you think of him, you know, being behind the times nowadays or whatever, anybody could take away that 22 years is a phenomenal achievement, and it was nice to see Mourinho and Ferguson, you know, having a photo with him at the at Old Trafford, because like they've all been big rivals, you know, over the years. And while I don't feel like maybe that fire is in Arsenal that used to be, and maybe that's one of the things with Wenger is maybe he lost a little bit of that fire over the last few years, or just things haven't quite worked out for whatever reason. Maybe the recruitment side of things wasn't quite as good. It's kind of interesting that since he kind of brought in more English players, Arsenal started to decline a little bit more. But as I said, I'll probably do like a completely separate like episode just on Arsene Wenger at the end of the season or something, because we'll yet to see if he's going to bow out on a high with the Europa League. At the time of making this video, they've still got to play their second leg against Atletico. It was 1-1. Arsenal really should have made more of that first leg, but they kind of ballsed it up. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I think on a personal note, I hope they do win the Europa League. I'm not a fan of Arsenal, okay? I've said this many times because so many of my friends support Arsenal and rib me day in, day out that I've built up this kind of hatred for them, but you can't help but admire Wenger, and I would not deny him one last cup, you know, before the end of his career. It would be fantastic, and to get back into that Champions League as well, which, you know, he had that record for so long that he was so proud of, to, you know, continue to finish in the top four. And that is a fantastic achievement, because many teams in that 22 years have fallen by the wayside, you know. Anyone remember when Leeds were a Champions League team, or, you know, and he's kept them there constantly. Never ever been in trouble of relegation or anything like that. So, a great achievement, really. Spurs 2-0 against Watford. Pretty routine win for them. Watford, very poor. Very poor right now. That's why I was so disappointed with our draw with them, really. I thought they were there for the taking right then, but yeah, I mean, they're safe. I don't think any of these teams are going to get 38 points, but I mean, they've got to change something for next season. I could see them losing a couple of players, Richarlison, maybe Decor, players like that. I guess it's going to be difficult for them to rebuild from that, but we'll see. So, we've got an interesting one coming up. I hate when they do these like double weeks, but we've got this kind of like double week. A lot of the teams playing twice, so I'll be interested to see what teams people are putting out. I think I'll probably have some Man City players in there. I think we'll probably have some Man United players, maybe. I mean, I've got Man City players, but I might like switch a Walker for a Sterling or something if I've got the money. I don't know. I'll probably make this decision tomorrow, so Thursday. I'm recording this on Wednesday the 2nd, so we know who's going to be playing a bit more, or who's injured anyway. I think I might stick with the Liverpool players, because they're only playing once, I think, Liverpool, aren't they? Yeah, and like they're probably going to rest players as well, I would think, after the Roma game. And then we're through to the final games of the season, which I feel like there will be a lot to play for that day. Swansea v Stoke, definitely massive game there. Maybe Huddersfield Arsenal as well. Could be really interesting. Going to be interesting for Arsenal, I guess, in, what is it, Burnley? Last game at the Emirates for Wenger as well. It's going to be so weird as to who they get. I'll chat a bit about who they're going to have as manager. They haven't announced anybody as of the making of this video, so I don't know if they will do before the end of the season. I don't think they will, because I don't think they'll want to undermine Wenger before the end of the season. I said a few years ago that Jurgen Klopp was the guy I 100% would have gone for to take over Arsenal, and I think they've really missed the boat there, because I think he would have been perfect for Arsenal. I think he's perfect for Liverpool, but I think he would have been perfect at Arsenal as well. And I really feel like if Arsenal had got into a kind of bidding war, as it were, with Liverpool for him, they could have terms of other, I guess, Premier League managers that they could look to, I think there's too many people have said about Rafa Benitez, but I don't see that happening personally. Eddie Howe's been talked about a little bit, but I feel like that's a bit. The weird thing is, Brendan Rodgers' name keeps cropping up, and I feel like Eddie Howe would be a better bet than Brendan Rodgers. I don't know why, I just feel like he would be. I think Brendan Rodgers would be a good choice whatsoever. They talked about other people like Thomas Tuchel, but apparently he doesn't get on with Arsenal's head of recruitment or whatever, who used to be at Borussia Dortmund, so that looks unlikely. And Luis Enrique, the ex-Barcelona manager, but apparently he's really expensive. There's lots of options, I guess. I'd kind of find it funny if you saw like Antonio Conte rock up there. We've always talked about Simeone as well, go to Arsenal, but I think he's too much of an abrasive character to go in there. It would be interesting who they pick. I don't feel like they're going to have the same sort of experience as like a David Moyes going in Man United, even though they are following a club legend, because the fans have wanted change for a while now, let's face it. So, whoever's going to come in, I think we'll get support there. I think, from what Wenger's said and suggested, he's not going to be retiring, so he might go somewhere else. People have talked about the French national team or Paris Saint-Germain or something like that. I think he'd be really good as the French national team manager. I think he's at a point perhaps now where maybe club football is just a bit too much for him, the weekly kind of stuff that goes on. Maybe it's passed him by a bit, I don't know. I mean, if he rocked up as Crystal Palace manager, I wouldn't be disappointed because he has got a phenomenal record in the Premier League, but I don't think he will. In fact, I'd bet a lot of money on the fact that he won't be the next Crystal Palace manager, but there you go. So yeah, we're nearly coming to an end of the season. I'm going to do a lot of stuff on the World Cup when it comes around. It's pretty exciting. It's not that far away now. 14th of June, so sort of 6 weeks or so away. And as I said, I'll probably do like an extra long kind of chat about Arsene Wenger and his career, I guess, and looking through his teams and remembering that kind of stuff, because it's worth doing that, because I feel like less so with Ferguson, because Ferguson obviously won the league in his last season, but people have forgotten a lot of stuff that Arsene Wenger did and what he kind of brought into football in this country, and the way his team played, and yeah, I feel like there's an interesting story there anyway, so we'll see. But yeah, probably just a couple more of these videos of the kind of weekly stuff left. I think I've blown my chance of getting under 500,000 with the last few weeks, but hey, I think I said at the beginning, under 1 million was my choice, and I should get that hopefully, but we'll see what we can do in the last 2 weeks. But thank you so much for watching as always, guys. It's been my pleasure.